What is up, you sexy mother hubbards? It's time for an alternative paper review. First up, the Telegraph and the Sunday Times, both covering the same story, that lockdowns amplified social inequality. Now, the crux of these pieces is effectively that while the middle classes were able to sit at home, work from home, put their feet up and largely survive unscathed, the working classes were propelled into the gig economy or retail sector, where they were not only face to face with actual health risk, but also had no such luck in terms of saving on their rail fare, applying for furlough support, writing out applications for £60 million PPE contracts. Now, there's probably something to this. I personally had quite a fun pandemic. I worked from home, I started a podcast, I took up woodwork with my son. I was absolutely that cliche middle-class insufferable guy that was like whittering to my neighbours over the fence like, yeah, isn't it awful? Meanwhile, you're saving £400 a month train fare and taking up the hobbies that you never had a chance to before. And so while these slightly more comfortably off were able to, pay off their credit cards or save a bit of money for a rainy day, the likes of which no doubt came in very handy indeed when they hiked the interest rates 12 times, those on the lower levels of the socio-economic ladder were just struggling. And now they've been hit with either interest rates or the subsequent rent hikes. And it's like, yeah, I'm positive that whole lockdown furlough kind of setup probably did amplify social inequality. But here is the thing, let's keep this strictly 100% honest, shall we? I don't know if a few months of saving train fare or a week of having to work through your COVID infection, I don't know personally if that is the real cause of the explosion of the lack of social mobility so much as the housing crisis. I mean, which do you think has adversely affected social mobility more? A few months of saving £300 or £400, which, what does that add up to? £2,000, £3,000, maybe £4,000? Or being condemned to a lifetime of paying, 2/3 of your salary over every month for hiked up rent. One is a narrow window of time, which was probably very frustrating to witness. Like, hang on a second, these guys are enjoying working from home. I wish I could do that. Like, that must have been really infuriating to watch. But which has actually adversely affected your chances at getting on and improving your situation? That or 25 years of government failure, not investing in housing stock, and seeing the average price of a home balloon from 3.5 times the average salary to 11 or 12 times the average salary now. Meanwhile, over to the Daily Express, which says stop playing games over the boats crisis. Is it a crisis? Is it really? They reckon we receive between 20,000 and 40,000 asylum seekers every year, which I think we've established many times on these videos is that's comparable to the same figures as France, Germany, everyone else takes more than we take comparatively. But yeah, somehow it's a crisis when it's the UK taking them in, and we need to stop playing games about this. I mean, it does feel like a game, a little bit, doesn't it? The fact they're putting all of their eggs into this one stop the boats basket. Rishi Sunak is subservient now to the Suella Braverman rhetoric. He has to keep piping this thing out. He's like, this is what the British people want, it's what the British people expect. No, they don't. Priorities for the British people are the NHS and the economy. And congratulations, Sunak, you've messed up both. I suppose on that basis, it's not that shocking that he would wish to change the conversation over to the boats. I mean, when it's me, the girlfriend and the kids in the car, and I mess up the directions to wherever we're going, the last thing I want to talk about is how I've messed up the directions to where we're going. I'm like, I haven't heard this song in a while. Let's turn this up. Drown out the moaning. Meanwhile, in the Mail on Sunday, Dan Hodges hypes the possibility that Boris Johnson might return as Prime Minister. To which the only sane response is, honestly, please do this. Do it. I mean, it sounds ridiculous. The idea that you could install the fourth Prime Minister of the last 18 months, but also that fourth one should be the first one. And also that the one that was the first one that is now going to be the fourth one is the same guy that hemorrhaged an 80-seat majority and magically converted it into a 20-point tail lead in the polls. He tried to disband the Standards Committee with Patterson, then it was Partygate, then it was Pincher. Honestly, the idea that the solution to all of this Tory chaos is more chaos is just... Apart from anything else, he's not even an MP anymore. He's literally banned from Parliament. Like, does anyone need any further evidence that the Conservative Party are completely devoid of new ideas and new vision? I mean, every other day now, it's like, we should bring Liz Truss back. What the Conservative Party need is a Thatcher 2.0. Bring back Boris! Bring back Boris! Like, so absent is their vision. They now run solely on the fumes of parody, don't they? Boris is the neo-Churchillian hero we all need. Like, haven't you guys ever thought maybe it's time to try something new? Anyway, for what it's worth, my own opinion on this is that it now seems like the Tories have fallen so deep into their own death spiral that they're actually making themselves quite comfortable there. But that's just me. What do you guys think? As always, let me know in the comments below. Peace!